What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about what PlayStation is doing for actually a lot of different things, but Series X, Series S, they're known, the specs are known, the comparisons are out there, the release date, the price, the pre-order date, everything's out, and it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. So to start this PlayStation video off, just to give Microsoft some credit, because I know there's obviously people that have different opinions of me, so I do want to say, I'm very, very pumped for these Xbox consoles, and I'm very glad that they finally broke the silence. Now, what can Sony do? Well, not necessarily even as a fight, but I do want to predict what Sony's going to do. So we have basically three things. We have price, we have release date, and we have pre-order date. So we know the Series X is $500. Now, this is all going to be US dollars, okay? $500. The Series S is $300. Again, we have the specs. I'll show the spec, the comparison. I'm not going to go read through it. The pre-order date is September 22nd, not all that far off, and the release date is November 10th. We also know Assassin's Creed got pushed, actually got pulled ahead, okay, to release on the same day. We know Watch Dogs Legion actually is going to be coming out on that day as well for next gen. Obviously comes out earlier on current gen. So things are happening. So PlayStation, well, let's go one at a time. So firstly, we have pre-order, and I guess we can also throw in, when does PlayStation do anything? When do they decide to do something? Well, today's Thursday morning. I'm trying to get this video out hopefully immediately, so hopefully I beat any Sony announcement if it does happen today. This video would not air if they actually do something on Wednesday when I'm recording this. It's going to be interesting because do they give Microsoft the full week? Because that's pretty much what would happen. In fact, Phil Spencer admitted in the tweet that this was not planned. This is not necessarily what they wanted to do. They actually were going to do this next week. Now, what we have with PlayStation is we have all of the emails, all of the seemingly internal preparation for pre-orders and all this different kind of stuff. And this week was supposed to be VR week. They're going to just talk about VR. They're not talking about PS5. So you could believe that. And in fact, even insiders have said, well, that was the plan before Microsoft has now done this. You could argue that both Sony and Microsoft were both planning on doing this next week, and that's why Sony had this week, okay, you do VR this week, and then next week you go, full out. And I actually do believe that. I really, really do. But the question is, do they stick with that now that, Microsoft stuff got leaked, so they kind of had to jump the gun and do this, which again, I think is fine. It's actually probably for the best of everybody. But what does Sony do? I feel like it maybe is looking more likely that they do give them the week. Now, that could change. There's absolutely, I think it either happens today, or which is I'm saying this when you guys are watching this. It either happens today, Thursday, or it happens on Monday, literally as soon as it can humanly possibly happen next week. Okay, and so what do we get? Well, we're going to get the pre-order, the release date, and price. So what do I think? All right. Well, let's do price first. Series X, again, $500. Series S is $300. Now, the thing is, it does seem like from all that we've seen in terms of leaks of specs, all this kind of stuff, or even what we have confirmed, with Sony, with Microsoft, of what's in these systems, it does seem like factually the Series X is the more powerful console. Now, Sony is going more toward different things. And you could argue, and I've even thought about this as well, well, firstly, doesn't matter all that much, okay? And that's not to take the side of Sony or go against Microsoft. It simply is, I don't really think it matters all that much. Firstly, all next gen is going to look pretty good, including, by the way, Series S. They're all going to be pretty darn solid. You also have to think about PS4 and Xbox One. Remember, when they came out, it was 400 and 500. PS4 was 4, Xbox was 5. And again, Microsoft went around saying that the Xbox is the most powerful. And again, they do some things better, they do some things worse, and you just have to go with that. Then obviously the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, and we kind of went from there, right? So the bottom line is, even though one could be more higher price, one could be technically, quote-unquote, more powerful. And there's a lot more we can talk about with this kind of stuff that we'll talk about later. So I think PlayStation 5 could be $450. I really do. I think that the plan probably was to do 5. I think the digital is $400, and I really don't think. But at the same time, here's the deal. Again, you got 300 and 500. You can beat the 500 of Series X. You could. And especially because, again, people just generally around the internet do think, and again, probably factually, statistically is true, Series X is more powerful. Well, then they probably should be the more power. then they probably should be the more costly console, because if you're going to have the most power, you should cost the most. If you cost less, you're either taking a really big loss, or it's just flat out not all that powerful, or it could have been more powerful, stuff like that. So here's what I think. It either is 500 and 400, and Sony sticks with that, or it's going to be 450, 350. I think, and that's very bold, by the way. And the reason I say that is I think they would want to beat the price of the 500 base Series X, okay? So if Sony's base PS5 can come in at 450, now here's the deal. PlayStation would lose money every single time they sell a console, okay? I believe the manufacturing cost of both of these consoles is somewhere around that 475 to 480 mark. So Microsoft right now for Series X would actually make $20 for every unit sold. Not a lot, but obviously, you put that around several millions of units, you're going to make some money, and also they have lots of other ways of making money. Sony, if you stuck it at 500, you'd also be making money, which they did with the PS4. They were making money with the PS4, whereas before with the PS3, they were actually losing money. So with PS5, they could say, all right, we want to do that again. We want to make money. Times are tough, with the company. We need to make money. Or they could say, let's really stick it to Microsoft. Let's come out again for under. Let's come out for 450. You could say 400. I think that would be insane. I really just don't think there's any way the PS5 is going to be 400. So my bold prediction will be 450, and then the digital, I just think the digital should probably be $100 less than the physical, than the disc version. That's just the only way. So I could see 450 and 4, but I really don't think that makes all that. You know what I mean? I don't think that makes all that much sense. Kind of just seems weird. So if you're gonna go 450, I think you could probably go 350 or maybe 375. I know they don't like doing the 75 mark, but you could if you did 450 and 375. That would be, I think, pretty darn solid. That's the bold prediction. I do very well see it, though, that they could just keep it at 5 and say, nope, we're doing it. We got the games. We have reasons to buy the console, and we're going to, you know what I mean? And I've talked about that. That's what Sony needs to do. They need to say, no matter what, no matter where the price is or the release date, they need to say, okay, we have reasons. Not that Microsoft doesn't, by the way, but like Sony's strategy should be Demon's Souls, Ratchet and Clank, all like Miles Morales, Horizon, all the future games, all of this stuff. This is why you get PlayStation. And I think if they do that, it could honestly be priced obviously not $700-800, but it could be priced almost anything. And as long as you give people reasons to buy it, I think people will eventually do it. So that's the price. Release date. I really do think November 17th. I don't think they're going to be able to, well, firstly, I don't think they're going to be able to beat November 10th. Now, hopefully, by the way, hopefully I'm wrong with all of these. These are pretty bold predictions, I would say, and so to be wrong, you know what, I'll take the loss, honestly. I don't think it would come out the same day. There's just no way. So November 10th is off. Now we have November 3rd, which is a week before, November 6th, November 13th, November 17th, November 20th. So again, you literally only have 5 days to pick, so somebody's going to be right on some prediction. I'll say the 17th. I'll leave it there. I won't even give a second, although I would say November 13th would be my second option. You guys can tell me that, hey, haha, you were wrong if it's not the 17th. I'll label that as the day. I just think also it can't be before it because you already have Assassin's Creed now saying, okay, here's literally the day we're coming out because we're going to come out on Series X. Again, Watch Dogs. You're going to have other games do this as well. We'll probably see over the next coming days. So I don't think you could have PlayStation 5 come out November 3rd, and then Assassin's Creed's like, okay, well, we come out November 10th for you, but if you have PlayStation, you can actually get us 7 days early. You know what I mean? I just don't think that works. It actually wouldn't be all that surprising because this kind of stuff has happened over the last several months, but I'm going to say November 17th. The pre-order date. Now, this one's going to be interesting because, again, it kind of depends on when Sony announce. If they announce it today, then maybe they could have it next week. I've seen people say, next week could be it. Here's what I'll say, and this will be taking a jab at Microsoft, and not like attacking them, but like if I was Sony, this is how I would strategically do it. September 23rd. That's how I would strategically do it. You give them 1 day, and then the next day, you do yours. And then, it's not like people aren't going to pre-order the Series X after, September 22nd. But I think if you gave them just that day, you didn't try and put it out a week before, you know what I mean? So obviously the sooner the better. I mean, I'm ready to drop the money as well. So if you did it next week, you did it September 17th, September 18th, whatever. But I think the most strategic, and this could be wrong, and obviously I could get this prediction wrong, but my strategy, how I would handle it is give them September 22nd, and they're going to have that whole day to themselves. People are going to be talking about it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome day. Then the next day, the Wednesday, instead of giving them, because if you put it out this past week or the week after Xbox goes, you give them the entire week to themselves for everybody to be talking. If you're actively against somebody or if you're competing, I don't think you would want that. You know what I mean? So if Sony goes next week, they may only have 3, 4, 5, They only have a couple days to themselves before Microsoft goes, and then just, factually how it works is people then move on to them and talk about them. And again, I'm not saying like you're gonna switch over people that are gonna get one or the other. If you're gonna get the PS5, you know what I mean? If you're going to pre-order the PS5 or Series X, you're not going to change it based off of, oh my God, the one comes like a day after or a day before. So that's not what I'm trying to pitch with this idea. I'm trying to pitch like just general talk. You see like Twitter trending, like Sony and PlayStation are trending almost more than Microsoft these past couple days when it's Microsoft that did their stuff. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like if I'm Sony, this is how I want to kind of like one-up them. It's give them that day, because even on that day, you could potentially push like, hey, don't forget pre-order start tomorrow for the PS5, and then the day after it's like, okay, now we go with the PS5. You know what I mean? I think that's probably the best way, if I was against Microsoft, to stop them in their track. And again, I don't think it's going to 100% work, but I think if you want people talking about your system, that's how I would do it. Again, for Xbox people that maybe are watching this, that's no offense to Microsoft. You know what I mean? Absolutely nothing. I'm literally just saying, if I was Sony, here's how I would do it. So that's everything. So I would say $450 and $350 is the price for my bold prediction. $500 and $400 for like, I think this is probably going to happen, but if you don't want to go with that, that's why we have the bold one. Pre-orders, I would say September 23rd would be the start date, and November 17th as the release date. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what are your predictions for the PS5? When do you think they announce all of this stuff? Because you know they're going to announce it all at one time. What day do you think that happens? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up, and thank you all so much for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.